In part 3 of section 4, we're going to talk about horizontal shifts. There's only two types of shifts, vertical versus horizontal. When we talked about vertical shifts, we talked about adding or subtracting a real number, and we were doing that to the function value itself, to f of x. Now remember, f of x represents the y value. So when I add or subtract something to f of x, I'm adding or subtracting to the y value, which is why things moved up and down. In this definition, we're going to see just the opposite. Here, I'm going to still take a real number. We're going to let h represent a real number. And again, h has to be something that's greater than 0. So h is positive, just like k was positive for the vertical shift. But this time, I'm not going to add or subtract with h to f of x. I'm going to do it directly to x. So you'll notice in the first part of the definition, it says f of x minus h. So the minus h is directly going with the x. And for the second part, we have x plus h. So the plus h is happening directly to the x. What this will do is it will cause a horizontal shift. Now this will be a little counterintuitive, and when I say counterintuitive, I mean the opposite of what you would probably expect. I would normally think that if I'm going to be subtracting something, that would make me go to the left. But in fact, subtracting is actually going to make me move to the right by h units. So this is one of the patterns that was recognized by mathematicians. So we don't have to make a table every time we want to do this particular transformation. Somebody has already found that this is going to work every time, so it's become a definition. Same thing for plus the real number, plus h. So if you have that going on, then you're not going to be going to the right, but in fact you'll be moving to the left. So be careful about the horizontal shift in the direction that you're going to be going based off of whether you're adding or subtracting.